Hello, Tori. Thank you for writing in. We really appreciate it. I liked reading about your story, and I'd like to go ahead and go over a few things that I think might be able to help if we can. From what I've read, it looks like you started off very positive on the things you have to say. Sounds like everything's going great, and that's wonderful. What my question is have you met this person in real life, or has it just been strictly through text that you guys have been talking? It seems initially like you guys know each other, and now after reading it, I know that you guys know each other from work. You guys are in separate buildings, but you never actually say if you've met in person. It's somewhat implied, but from the things you say about constant texting and not actually meeting face to face, I'm questioning if you guys have met or if it's only been on text. Like I said previously, I can see that you started off very positive, saying things such as how he's almost too good to be true, funny, thoughtful, and does what he says he's going to do. Later on in the text, it seems like you are getting a little bit bugged or annoyed at the way that he is saying things or texting things, avoidance, things such as that. And then you kind of go down to the bottom, talking about how it's almost like an ultimatum, how you either want to do this or that, or give him the options because you don't want to waste their time. Now, the perception that I'm getting, and probably what you're getting, is it seems like he is saying the things that you want to hear, saying the things that are positive, but not actually doing any action on that. Since perception is an active tool, you can see that things that you are finding aren't exactly lining up with what he's saying. My question to you is, what does your gut tell you? And not that you can be anxious or overthink things, because that is very possible, but if you're feeling like things aren't totally right and it's a constant feeling, try to read into that and work from there. One thing about perception that the textbook written by Stewart says is perception can be defined as a social and cognitive process in which people assign meaning to sensory cues. Now, clearly, you're getting some kind of meaning from the things that he's doing or the actions that he's not doing in this case, but what he's saying through text seems to be great. Another quote about texting, which could be interfering with your guys' relationship, is a journal written by Halpern and Katz, which states, constant texting leads to partners to attend to their cell phones instead of communicating. What I feel like this could potentially cause is because you have been so strictly communicating via text, it might be detracting from the actual relationship you guys could be having. What I'd like to say to you is, towards the end, as we stated, it seems like an ultimatum where you're saying, should you call it quits or tell him how you feel, but it seems a little drastic. What I think you should do is tell him what you want, and doesn't need to be an ultimatum state. It's not this or that. Tell him what you would like out of the relationship and tell him you would like to meet instead of expecting it to just happen. And from there, you can at least get an idea of what's going on. I know you say that you guys are in separate buildings, so that's not a big issue, at least in the hierarchy of work. But you might also want to check to see what the handbook, if you have one at your job, states about anybody talking to anybody else from work, if that is an issue, if it's not, because you say he is in a higher position, just not above you. This could also be why he may not want to pursue things farther. But thanks again for writing in and taking the time to write your story for us. We appreciated it, and hopefully this will be able to help you in some case. And thanks again.